match number 5. Douglas and Julen, chance to extend the Warriors season again as they take on Laloo and Aratz. Douglas and Julen 3-7 in the regular season. Laloo and Aratz 5-5. These two teams split the regular season matchup. Douglas and Julen won the first one back on January 20th, straight sets. And then Laloo and Aratz won the rematch back on April 4th, a little bit later in the season, where Laloo had a little more experience and adjustment time on the court. But again, Douglas, Julen, two players, they came back against Gaucheri and Bend in a big game day against the Renegades to keep the Warriors season alive then. So another team that's coming out that played with their backs against the wall, that pretty solid in this spot, and got a lot of confidence if you're the Warriors with this Douglas and Julen team, even in spite of that 3-7 record. Clock winding down here. We're ready to begin match number 5.
Douglas serves. Our match has begun. Here's the backhand by Aratz, right to the corner and out to the rebote. Aratz now from the 8 line. Douglas at the 8. Douglas, great catch at the side wall. That's a tough play. Aratz now from the 13 line. Rebote left side by Laloo. Here's Julen from the 10. Good catch, cross court by Laloo. Difficult catch by Julen. Laloo is there, midcourt, backhand, powerfully thrown and caught by Julen. Aratz from the 11 line to the inside. Douglas back at the 10, backhand. There's the backhand by Aratz to the inside. Fine catch by Julen. He takes it on the bounce, right side. Aratz moves up, takes it in the air. Hard backhand, caught by Julen. Rotate forehand. This ball is caught in the air by Douglas. Drop shot by Douglas. Caught the top of the pad. Any part of the pad is bad. First point of the first set of this match goes to the Fireballs, Laloo and Aratz.
Tendency is to start off with those drop shots early in a match with a cold ball because it doesn't travel as far. A game of inches. Douglas had him there. Laloo wasn't going to get to it, but it just caught a little part of the pad. Any part is bad. And generally, Douglas was way more aggressive at that point than we've ever seen him to begin a match, which I would say is a pretty good sign, but we'll see if he, he's just flipping those backhands inside. I'd like to see him do a little bit more with it if he's going to play inside like that.
Julen from the forehand, hard to the inside and crossing. Aratz, backhand to the inside. Douglas calls for the rebote, plays it up from the forehand. Catch by Aratz. And a drop, midcourt. We're tied up 1-1. Douglas serves.
It's pretty surprising, but Aratz is one of those players where the catch rate does drop to the right side. I mean, up in Division I, he's 98% in his catch rate and goes all the way down into the mid-90s.
Here's backhand by Aratz. Julen turns for the rebote. Aratz from the 13 line, backhand to the inside. Douglas is there. Backhand thrown powerfully from the 7, caught in the air by Aratz. Backhand by Douglas. Rebote forehand. This one caught by Douglas at the 8 line. There's the backhand, wall to wall again. Rebote forehand. This one caught by Douglas. The drop shot scores. 2 points for Douglas and Julen. Douglas serves.
Yeah, Laloo committing hard to that drop shot. Douglas is a different player in singles compared to doubles. He doesn't throw a lot of Costado 2-walls in doubles. That's a little bit harder to score, but in singles, he'll go for it. So Laloo See if you recognize that. Start to shade more inside. Oh, that's
That
well
ball
out of
gets
play.
up into the overhead screen, which is out of play. 3 points for Douglas and Julen. Oh, Warriors. Douglas serves.
I'd say for both of these front quarters, let the opposition beat you with a good 2-all before you dart to the outside every time they wind it up.
Here's the backhand by Aratz to the inside. Rotate forehand by Douglas. Laloo. Backhand from the 8. Douglas overhead on the left side. Powerful backhand along the wall all the way to score. 4 points for Douglas and Julen of the Warriors. Douglas serves.
Oh, it's just a great throw there by Douglas, and you know he's really stepping up in this match, throwing the ball hard, really engaged throughout, and taking a good chunk of the balls.
Here's backhand by Aratz. Caught by Julen at the 11. Laloo midcourt, backhand, low and hard. Scoop by Julen deep in the backcourt. Aratz from the 11 line. Laloo calls for the rebote, puts it inside. Big bounce brought down by Julen. Laloo now from the 8 line. Aratz calls for the catch, backhand at the 10. Douglas now at the 9. What a catch by Aratz deep in the backcourt.
Oh my.
Julen was struck with the ball. That's a loss of point. Laloo and Aratz with 2 points. Laloo has the serve.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going to say, if you're not watching the ball, what are you doing? I mean, that's just a mistake that cannot happen. I know Aratz was in front of Julen, but he had to have his eye completely off the ball to get hit by it as it traveled into the backcourt. That can't happen at this match, at this stage.
Big right side by Julen. Aratz looks for the rebote.
Yeah.
The rebote is missed.
And
5 points for Douglas and Julen. Possible set point.
the fortunate thing here in Jai-Alai is we play 3 sets. So after this first set, you can just forget about it like it never even happened. In other sports, you have a mistake that, team scores, you have to live with that the rest of the game. So see, they can just close it out here, get to the benches, and just figure it out. Again, Douglas is playing fantastic. Julen giving great catching support in the back, too, so
Ball
far.
under serve. Battle court rules allow for 2 serves. Second serve must be good. The good serve lands between the 4 and 7 line. Here's the backhand by Aratz to the inside. Julen, fine catch at the 10. Aratz, backhand from the 13. Douglas is there. Beautiful catch by Aratz. There's the backhand. Rebote comes way out. Laloo looking for it, sends it inside. Douglas follows it to the 9. Beautiful catch by Aratz. Douglas now at the 10. Backhand, straight back, and cut off by Aratz. Douglas advances on it. Costello up the middle, taken on the forehand of Aratz. Aratz flips it back. It passes Julen. Rebote for Douglas. Douglas back to the 10 line to make this catch. There's the backhand. Powerfully thrown and caught by Aratz. Julen makes the catch to the 9 line. Here's the backhand. What a catch by Aratz on the side wall. Beautifully played. Julen goes deep. Rebote coming out. Rebote forehand straight back. Julen lets it pass. Douglas, forehand rebote right up the middle, caught by Aratz. Catch by Julen on the bounce. Scoop by Laloo. Right to the inside that goes, and that is such a great catch by Julen.
Yes, it is.
Rebote forehand rifled by Laloo, picked up again by Julen. Laloo. Backhand from the 7 to the inside. Rebote coming out. Here's the backhand by Douglas. Aratz is there. Robote left side by Douglas for the big bounce. Cut off before the first bounce by Laloo. Julen from the 11 line on the forehand. Hard to the inside he goes. Robote forehand by Laloo to the inside. Douglas has it on the Costado. The 2-all. Stopped by Laloo. Powerfully returned by Laloo. Stopped by Julen. Karen by Julen does not open up. Aratz has it. Costado to the inside will score. That's a third point for Laloo and Aratz. Laloo has the serve.
Well, I'll say Julen with maybe his best point of the night there, catching in the back, and Laloo getting involved in this match. He makes the stop. This one coming in. Julen catches it. Great discipline here. Doesn't go up for it. Knows that Aratz is back there and lets him finish it from the backcourt.
Beautiful catch by Julen off a hard serve. Aratz at the side wall. That's a tremendous play. Here's Julen. Julen comes hard from the right side. Robote by Laloo. Caught in the air by Douglas. Douglas powerfully. Laloo calls for the Robote. Robote to the inside. Here's Julen. Outside placement by Julen. Aratz reads it. Makes the Robote for the big bounce. Douglas stops it. Beautiful catch. And a great way to stay safe by Laloo. Karam caught by Laloo, stopped by Laloo. The backhand's in the air, and Julen makes the catch.
Point.
Aratz is there, backhand. Robote, forehand by Douglas. Laloo powerfully wall to wall. Robote coming way out. Douglas is there. Lower and harder on the Robote. Aratz on the Robote. High to pass. He does not. Douglas has it. 2-all. Stopped by Laloo. Dropped off the forehand. Point and set to Douglas and Julen. Winning the first set, 6-3. 2 minutes go on the board. We'll come back out, play our next set.
Tremendous play by Douglas up in the front. He set the pace, and Fireballs just never quite got comfortable. I mean, it's just awesome to see that level of power. I mean, just how engaged he is every point, every throw. Douglas is in there every time. I mean, never giving this Fireballs team a break. His power's a difference maker. His shots have been great, and he got that. I mean, what do you do? Starting off with a drop shot there, caught Laloo going the other way. Robote to the inside here. Yeah, that's the one that Julen just caught napping a bit. I know Aratz was in front of him, kicked off the wall, but certainly didn't expect that. Fine
Beautiful
scoop there by Laloo. My.
Concentration on Julen's face, stopping that ball. Again, he's making that stop behind him. Not an easy thing to do. It's 2-all. Stopped by Laloo. What a catch by Julen.
You see the reaction there off the next miss. Such a well-played point there. And that's, look at Laloo. Just get down to the ground as low as you can.
Magic City. Did not have control of the ball after he got the ball in the cesta. But once you make the catch, you need to settle the ball in the cesta. And look, the harder it's thrown, the more difficult that is to do. Not all the time, oddly enough. If it's thrown direct in the air and you make the catch either or catch it in the air before it touches another surface, the ball tends to stick, even if the guy's throwing like 160, 180 miles an hour. Sometimes the slow balls will bobble around in the basket. But in that case, ball was coming fast and he just never got control over the ball. 4 seconds to go before we begin our second set. We're ready to begin our second set. Laloo has the serve for the Fireballs.
If you're the Warriors, you just hope it's the same Warriors team that comes out here, meaning you hope Douglas keeps his foot on the gas. We've seen him start off strong and then kind of falls a little bit as the match goes on, so see if they stay that strong, aggressive style.
Here's Aratz on the bounce at the 11 line. Catch by Julen. Julen goes wall to wall. Robote left side by Here's Julen from the 10 line. Outside placement. Read by Aratz. Stopped by Aratz. And a great save. This ball's up high. Great catch by Douglas. Douglas goes sidearm hard to the inside. Good placement by Laloo. Here's Julen. Beautiful catch by Aratz. Sends it straight back. Rebote for Douglas. Laloo has this on the forehand. Cortada does not cross the wall. Julen makes the play. Rebote left side to the inside. Here's Julen. Difficult catch at the 11 line. Laloo now from the 8. Swing and a miss.
Wow.
Mid-court. First point of the second set goes to Laloo and Aratz. Of the Fireballs, Laloo serves.
Wow, that's a rare miss. A swing and a miss for Douglas. You see that more on these long rebotes, but with a player like Douglas, that happens maybe once or twice a season. And Laloo with that Cortada attempt a little bit earlier, what we've advised, you know, harder or cross the side wall, you always got to cross the side wall and sacrifice a little speed.
Julen on the catch. There's a throw right up the middle. Scooped up by Aratz on the left side. Rebote forehand. Powerful rebote by Laloo is caught in the backcourt by Julen. Carom by Julen. Stopped by Laloo. Laloo. Hard throw. Stopped by Douglas. Douglas to the inside. Aratz is there. Rebote dropping. Saved by Douglas. Laloo. Powerful backhand. Here's the right side by Julen to the inside. Rebote to Laloo. Laloo plays it high. Douglas cuts it off. Coasty inside. Scoop by Aratz. Rebote forehand saved by Laloo. Douglas lets it pass. Here's Julen. Aratz has got the outside. Now he covers the rebote. Puts it right up the middle. Carom, stopped by Aratz. Costello by Aratz. Scooped by Julen. Scoop attempt missed. Rebote not there.
Wild point again.
1-1. Douglas serves for the Warriors.
Yeah, Fireball's almost baited Julen into this Carom. Look at Aratz. He gets there, ran around it, and this is such a tough one to scoop up. Look at Julen. That's a beautiful catch. Fine return right at his feet. You see the rebote crosses the wall late.
There's a backhand by Aratz. Rebote forehand, straight back. Aratz catches it low, backhand to the inside. Douglas on the rebote, big bounce to the inside, cut off in the air by Laloo. Douglas on the forehand. Cortada, stopped by Aratz, backhand. Stopped by Julen. Rebote left side, caught in the air by Douglas. Here's the backhand. Backhand again by Julen. Wall to wall from the left side. Laloo looks for the rebote, sends it up. Clears the screen and scores. 2 points for the Fireballs. Laloo and Aratz. Laloo has a serve.
Well, Julen was positioned at the same spot. I mean, he was just stuck there as this rebote was coming in. He didn't make an adjustment. He just tries to step around it, and he catches it closer to his hand, and it pops out of the basket. He was running out of space there. He wanted it on the right side, and he just didn't have anywhere to go. Not a lot of play, not a lot of space anyway.
Here's the forehand by Julen, called for by Aratz. Aratz goes to the inside. Douglas for the rebote. Laloo at the 7 line. Backhand powerfully along the wall. Good catch by Julen. Rebote save. Drops short. Hit the pad. 2 points. For Douglas and Julen, we're all tied up, 2-2.
Yeah, it's just an uncomfortable save for Laloo. It's so close to the side wall. He can't get any power on it. You just kind of got to flick it up there. Flick and turn, and hope you have enough power. Just dropped in the pad.
Fault under serve. Second serve must be good. Good serve lands between the forehand and 7 line. Laloo picks the serve, rifles the costado. It is stopped by Julen. Beautiful catch. That Karam will score. Excellent play by Julen on that one. 3 points for Douglas and Julen. Douglas serves.
Well, it's Julen's right side. It's been great the last stretch for the Warriors here and getting them to these playoffs. And again, gets the opponent going the other way, throws it hard, and just blasts it by him.
Here's a backhand by Aratz. Julen is there. Aratz again, fine catch at the 13. High backhand. Robote coming out. Douglas, Robote saved. Catch by Aratz on the bounce, high on the left side. Here's Julen from the 11 line. Laloo calls for it, puts it inside. Bounce at the side wall, stopped by Julen. Robote left side, kicks to the inside, and Julen's there. Julen goes wall to wall from the left side. Robote by Laloo. Aratz takes this one on the bounce, flips it back. Douglas at the 9 line, backhand. Powerfully, Robote coming way out. Forehand Robote rifled by Laloo, caught by Julen. Karam by Julen will go off the frame of Laloo, Cesta, and score. That is 4 points for Douglas and Julen of the Warriors. Douglas has the serve.
On the last match, Julen was just throwing these Karams just to throw them and trying to get a quick point. Here, it's good strategy. Laloo out of position again. He hasn't responded well, so make him make a tough catch. Couldn't again.
Big right side by Julen. Here's the catch and return by Aratz. To the inside it goes, out to the Robote. Played by Douglas. Douglas passes. Robote left side to the inside by Laloo, along the wall the whole way. Tough one is saved by Julen. Here's the backhand by Aratz. He passes. Powerful Robote to the feet of Aratz. He almost makes the catch. That is 5 points for Douglas and Julen. They have possible set, possible match point.
Looking for their second win. Would take us to our 6th match.
Fault under serve. Second serve must be good. Good serve lands between the forehand 7 line. Here's a backhand. Douglas looking for Robote in the backcourt. Big bounce coming. Laloo midcourt. Douglas reaches behind him, stops it on the 7 line. He sends this one. This Robote's coming all the way to the 3 line. Turn by Laloo, split placement perfectly to score. Laloo and Aratz with 3 points, Douglas and Julen with 5. Still possible match point for the Warriors.
Douglas throws it about as hard as he can, and look at how much speed that ball has as it's coming up to the 3 line, and you're just not expecting him to throw a split placement off the Robote.
Yeah, no,
that's the last place you're expecting that ball to come.
We haven't seen Laloo do that tonight. It was perfectly executed.
So let's see here. Gives the Fireballs another chance, but all the momentum on the Warriors side now.
Douglas takes the serve, rifles it. What a scoop by Aratz. The 2-all stopped by Julen. Julen powerfully from the forehand. Aratz laser-like focus puts it just over Douglas's head. He picks it up on the bounce. 3-wall play. Hits the screen and scores. Point, set, and match for Douglas and Julen. They take it in straight sets, 6-3, 6-3.
Oh, we're moving on to match 6. The Warriors with back-to-back wins. They made it a game day here on our first semifinal in the Winter 25 Battle Court season. All 6 doubles teams will play. Correa and Bradley take on Jet and Cabrera up next.
I'll be back.
Let's take a look at that replay, though, before we depart. Stop here by Douglas. Just phenomenal play with the season on the line. Aratz directing traffic, but it hits in the screen. Match over. Warriors win 3-2. Fireballs lead the game day. Let's take a look at that game day score here. 3-2. Fireballs still lead, but not a comfortable lead and not as comfortable as it was. Remember, Fireballs won the first 3 matches of this best of 7. Now the Warriors won the next 2. We're going to hear from Douglas and Julen after that big win. Congratulations, guys, keeping the Warriors season alive once again. Douglas, it was your aggressive play in the first set that got things started, but Julen, those caroms from the backcourt in set 2 really changed things up and got you guys back in front. What were you seeing that you decided to throw so many of them there late?
Yeah, I think me and Julen historically have come out kind of slow to begin matches, and we knew in this situation, being down 3 games to 1, we were going to have to come out firing on all cylinders. So we came out aggressive, throwing shots. He told me, if you have it, throw it, and I told him the same thing. So, you know, we got the job done, and see if Craig and Bradley can keep us going here.
Yeah, and I'm just going to ask you, expectations for this 6th division team. Craig and Bradley, 5-5 record, one of the better teams for you this season. What are you expecting in this last matchup?
Yeah, same thing. I told Anderson to focus, come out, you know, aggressive, throwing shots when he has it, and Bradley the same thing. Bradley played really good. So did Carrera their last match. Unfortunately, come out with the win. And I know that Cabrera is in his 4th match right now, which is tough for anybody. So hopefully we can take advantage of that.
Awesome, guys. Tremendous playing under pressure there. Good luck in this final match and maybe in the last one. Thank you for the time.
Thank you.